Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Okay, this is my Dragon Quest video, right? I've been talking about Dragon Quest here and there in a bunch of my earlier vids, I believe. But I've not done like a full video on it, right? I really wanted to do a Dragon Quest Rocks video. But typically whenever I do that and talk about a series as a whole, generally I have played every game in the series so that I can give a like totally thorough overview and thorough thing in my opinion, so that it's like I can't look back at the video and think, oh, when I got to this game I didn't like it as much, I would have liked to have mentioned that, but whatever, you know? Yeah, because Dragon Quest XI just got fucking shown off there, you know? And I watched it and I was like, quite hyped, despite the fact that I am not, like, I'm not in any shortage of Dragon Quest right now. Just so you know, right? Dragon Quest, I played Dragon Quest 9 a good few years ago, right? When it first came out, I actually bought it. I bought that game when it first came out because it was so high profile at the time. And Dragon Quest 9's alright, you know. I didn't really get into it that much. I did beat it, but I didn't really get into it, funnily enough. I just played Dragon Quest 8 there. Fucking fell in love. Went right on to Dragon Quest 4, the remake on the DS. Fucking fell in love. I'm currently playing through Dragon Quest 5 on the DS, okay? Not bored yet, still not done. I think I'm near the end of that. And once I'm done with that, probably going to go right on to Dragon Quest 6, right? This is the current new series, right? Like just a while ago it was Earthbound. Do you remember all the Mother and Earthbound videos? I kept talking about it. Right now, it's Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest. Why did I leave that series alone for so long, right? That is like the quintessential JRPG, you know, other than like Final Fantasy, you know? Why did I leave it for so long? It just seems so stupid now, but I'm playing them now and I'm loving them, right? Fucking can't wait to play as many as I can, you know? I'll probably even play the old NES games. I've got a couple of them up there. It's just, yeah, it really just came crashing into my life, suffice to say, and I just gotta play all of them. You guys know what I'm like, I always do that, but whatever. I don't necessarily want to talk about my love for the games and whatnot, alright? I want to talk about Dragon Quest XI, because they've showed it off now. They showed it off at like this Japanese press event thingy, which, you know, I guess is like sort of a norm thing they do in announcing games and stuff. And they announced a shitload of games, you know. They announced like some Dragon Quest mobile game, Dragon Quest arcade game, Dragon Quest Minecraft, Dragon Quest Heroes 2, funnily enough, you know, like over here we're still waiting for that first one. I'm looking forward to that, by the way. That'll be really good. What else? They announced like another one for the 3DS called Dragon Quest Dom, like Monsters or something. I've actually seen games from that series in shops, you know, and nobody buys them, you know, you just see them, they're just the sort of games that you see there all the time, so I don't know what it is, okay, I just know it's Dragon Quest related and a new one's coming, right, and you know, obviously the Dragon Quest 8 remake that's going to be coming to the 3DS, right, but naturally, the big one was fucking Dragon Quest 11, right, so weird that it's, does anybody else think this, right, that 11 is such a non-hype number, you know? Like 10, that's a hype number. It's like, oh, it's the sort of thing that makes me think that Square Enix was right to make Final Fantasy XI like an MMO, because, you know, it's not a very hype number. Okay, so they're just like, let's just make it the MMO, that'll be fine. But now that I see this with Dragon Quest, and that's Dragon Quest XI, you know, it's like, okay, nope, this is hype. Doesn't matter if it's a weird number all of a sudden. You know, this is definitely something to be very happy about. So yeah, the game is going to be coming out for the PS4, the 3DS, and the Nintendo NX. And I'm almost a bit annoyed that this game, everybody was talking about Dragon Quest, like, because of being the first NX game, you know? Like, more so than being excited for the game itself. They were just like, NX, you know? The Wii U's fucking dead. It is fucking dead, you know? And which is upsetting, but whatever. I don't know if it was 100% confirmed. It sounds like it is, okay? Maybe it was just a possibility, I don't know, but chances are it'll come anyway, because Nintendo and The Dragon Quest series in general seems to have a very 50-50 split between favouring Sony and favouring Nintendo, you know? I think Nintendo is a little bit in its favour, and if they have both versions of the game on Nintendo consoles, that sort of cements that fact. And you'll notice I just said both versions. That's because the console version and the handheld version of Dragon Quest XI are going to be very different games. Well, sort of different based on what we know. The PS4 version, you know, you look at it, they showed it off a wee bit. It's Dragon Quest, it looks like a super pretty Dragon Quest VIII, you know? And I'm just looking at that thinking, yes, that is what you want to see, you know? You want to see something that's familiar, but just looks really nice, okay? You know, not to come off as a graphics whore or anything, right? But, you know, it's just like, you see that, and it's just, you just get hyped, you know? You just get really hyped. I've used that word so much, I sound like a Evo attendant or something. But anyway, you can just tell just by looking at it, this is going to be something that you will enjoy if you've played like Dragon Quest VIII, for example, you know? And they didn't show off any combat, sadly, but they showed off some environments, and that was enough, you know? At this stage in its development, which is apparently really early, okay, it got me excited to say the least, alright? But I suppose the thing that's better to talk about is there's more to talk about really, is the 3DS version, which is a different game with the same story. And the comparison I keep hearing is with Ni no Kuni. You guys will remember Ni no Kuni is a PS3 game we got. Well, that game was also on the DS, you know, and had some unique DS mechanics where you would actually draw, you know, characters that would act as spells in the combat system, you know, and it was a very different game apparently. I've only seen little clips of it. I love Ni no Kuni on the PS3, you know, so now thinking back, it's a bit of a shame we never got that version, but, you know, Dragon Quest XI is getting a similar treatment, and the thing that's interesting that they're doing with that one is that the top screen on the 3DS, apparently it's going to be new Nintendo 3DS exclusive. We don't know that yet, but you never know. Let me use this regular 3DS XL as comparison. Basically, the top screen's going to be like, it looks like Dragon Quest IX, you know? You see your character, he's polygonal, cutting about the town and the fields and all that. Looks regular. Whereas the bottom screen actually looks like those Dragon Quest remakes on the DS. Like, it looks like what I'm playing right now, Dragon Quest V, you know? And, you know, they showed off like cutscenes and battles, and things are going on in coexistence. Apparently they switch, like the battles I should say, switch depending on whether you use the circle pad or the D-pad. You know, you use the D-pad, it goes 2D, use the circle pad, it shows the 3D on the top screen, you know? And the theory that I hear that sounds so interesting to me is the fact that apparently, I can't remember the subtitle, right? But time is in the subtitle for this game, right? Imagine if there was some sort of mechanic where, like, the main character is coexisting in two separate timelines, one being the top screen and one being the bottom screen. And the fact that the bottom screen is probably the past, and it looks like a past Dragon Quest game, that's really clever, you know? I like the fact that both versions of this game sort of hit the right spots on two completely different levels. You know, you've got the PS4 one, which is looking familiar, but just a lot better, more next-gen-y, you know, and you get that sort of emotional hype. And then you've got Dragon Quest IX for the 3DS, which has a really cool mechanic. Dragon Quest XI, sorry, for the 3DS, which has a really cool mechanic to it, and you just like, I want to play that, you know? Yeah, I can't say it enough, guys. This may quickly become one of my most hyped games right now, you know? But one thing I'm also hearing about is the discussion of whether or not it's going to make it outside Japan, okay? Now, I said this on Twitter. I'm not normally this optimistic when it comes to localization, right? When it comes to video game localization, I am always the first to pick up my pitchfork and say, give us an English version and all that, but I just look at this scenario here, and it's like, they would be, no, I don't even want to say they'd be stupid not to give us it. It's like, I'm trying to think of a good expression here, okay? it just, to me, right, it just seems like something that they don't even have to say, okay? The fact that the game, on the PS4 at least, looks like that, looks that high budget, looks that, like, ambitious, you know? And they're not going to make it worldwide? That would be, like, just really, really stupid to me, you know? There is no reason why a main series Dragon Quest game, especially with all the push of JRPGs that Square Enix has been doing recently, you know, that we're getting a lot of JRPGs on PS4 and some on Xbox One as well from that company. Alright? It looks like this generation, at least from where we are right now, could very well be a return to form for that company where it's just like JRPG after JRPG after JRPG, you know? And again, I'm just looking at this and it's like, yeah, we're getting this. So I guess I'm calling that right now. I really do think we'll get this. I see absolutely no reason why not. I guess the thing that's more questionable is whether we'll get both versions, right? Because I'm confident as hell that we'll get the PS4 one. But the 3DS one, maybe not. Maybe if Nintendo publishes it, I don't know, but we'll see anyway. I can't wait for it regardless, right? Oh, this is... yeah, I just had to come and talk about that for a wee bit. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, Dragon Quest. Fucking enjoying it right now. That's all I got to say. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.